this message.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? You're back. I'm your host, Paco, and you're listening to Occupy the Media. Make sure, if you haven't already, that you join Watch the Vote 2012 on Facebook, Watch the Vote 2012 on Facebook, and also check out www.hiddenfourthbranch.com. That's hiddenfourthbranch.com on how we can combat voter fraud. Also, if you're in the LA area, there's no excuse. You better join LA Liberty HQ. That's on Facebook. That's out in Venice Beach, the phone bank for Ron Paul. Again, that's LA Liberty HQ on Facebook, and you can reach me on Facebook at Paco Elijah, YouTube, Paco757, and Twitter, Occupy the MSM. Okay, so let's jump into some more headlines here. The next one I wanted to go to, family misses flight after TSA gives pat down to girl with cerebral palsy. The girl, identified as Dinah Frank in a report by The Daily, was waiting with her family on Monday to board a flight departing from John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York, headed to Florida. Since Dinah walks with the aid of leg braces and crutches, she cannot pass through airport metal detectors and must instead submit to a pat-down by TSA agents. Dinah, who is also reportedly developmentally disabled, is usually frightened by the procedure. Her family reportedly requests that agents on hand take the time to introduce themselves to her. However, the agents on duty at the time began to handle her aggressively instead. Frank taped the encounter, which ended when a supervisor inspected her crutches and let them pass, but agents followed up and insisted upon doing a full inspection of Dinah. Ultimately, the family missed their flight. Quote, "They're harassing people. This is totally misguided policy," Frank told The Daily. "Yes, I understand that TSA is in charge of national security and there's a lot there's all these threats. But for her to be singled out is crazy." And the TSA issued a statement defending their decision to pat down the girl. TSA has reviewed the incident and determined that our officers followed proper screening procedures in conducting a modified pat down on the child. And like I've been saying, the whole problem with this is, not that they're getting caught and they're having to admit it, but they're getting caught and saying, "Oh yeah, we did the right thing. There was nothing wrong with that. It was proper procedures." So that's what's amazing, man. Disabled child scaring the mess out of our kids, man. Searching them, filling up on them, and you got to remember that this is training the kids to be accustomed to this. So as our kids get older, they don't know freedom. They're not going to understand freedom. All they're going to know is pat downs and searches, and that's what they're going to be used to. They're going to be going to school soon, getting checked every time they go to class. So it's all It's all a mind game. It's all brainwashing to make you accept the police state, especially our kids. And then also, speaking of the TSA, crooked TSA screeners arrested in drug trafficking scheme. Oh, man, the TSA stays in the news. 2 current and 2 former officials at the Transportation Security Administration were arrested in the last 48 hours in connection with at least 5 incidents from February 2011 to July 2011, in which on-duty screeners took payments of up to $2,400 to allow suitcases filled with drugs to pass unembedded through X-ray machines at LAX, U.S. Attorney Andre office said in a statement. According to his office, the scheme was uncovered after a member of the alleged conspiracy accidentally went through the wrong security line and was busted by TSA screeners who were not in on the plot. In another case, a TSA screener unknowingly arranged with a confidential source for the Drug Enforcement Administration to receive $1,200 for a shipment of methamphetamine to pass through security. A spokesman for the TSA did not immediately respond to a request for comment for this report, but Randy Parsons, the TSA Federal Security Director at LAX, said in a statement from Briote's office, the TSA, quote, has assured the investigating agencies we will do everything we can to assist in their investigation. While the arrests are a disappointment, TSA is committed to holding our employees to the highest standards. Which we have plenty of examples that they don't have high standards at all. And I'm not sure who these people are they're hiring, but these people are not worried about being held accountable for any wrongdoing because they continue to do it. I mean, I've only had my show for a month and a half, and how many TSA reports have I had? guys stealing iPads, uh, they're involved in drug trafficking, which is not a big deal to me. I don't care about drug trafficking unless, I just care about it being legal and illegal, because it being illegal is what helps the crime and helps the criminals. But, yeah, I mean, they're searching 4-year-olds, old women, disabled, old couples, stealing $300, stealing iPads. I mean, this is the TSA. This is the TSA that that is supposed to protect us, so to speak. Let's see, what else we got in the headlines? A military judge has refused to dismiss the charges against a U.S. Army private, which is Bradley Manning, accused in the biggest leak of government secrets in the country's history. Army, let's see here. Denied the defense motion during a pretrial hearing in the court-martial of Private Bradley Manning, who was accused of sending hundreds of thousands of sensitive documents to the anti-secrecy website WikiLeaks. The defense has filed a separate motion seeking dismissal of the most serious charge, aiding the enemy. That offense carries a maximum penalty of life imprisonment. So, exposing the truth means aiding the enemy. That makes you need to ask yourself, well, who's the enemy then? In seeking the dismissal, Private Manning's lawyers had argued that prosecutors were slow in sharing required information with the defense, that the only remedy was to throw out the charges. Prosecutors maintained that they needed time to obtain documents from civilian agencies and search the records for relevant material. The 24-year-old Manning was ordered court-martialed after he was accused of downloading documents, diplomatic cables, and video clips and sending them to WikiLeaks. He was working as an intelligence analyst in Baghdad when authorities say he copied classified material from government computers in late 2009 and early 2010. And let's see here. The material WikiLeaks published include cockpit video of a 2007 U.S. Apache helicopter attack that killed a number of civilians, including a Reuters news photographer and his driver. The U.S. government said the civilian deaths were accidental. Manning has been in pretrial confinement since he was charged in May 2010. His treatment at a Marines Corps base, where he was confined 23 hours a day in a single bed cell, caused support for him to swell in the U.S. and overseas. For several days in March 2011, Manning was forced to sleep naked, purportedly for injury prevention, before he was issued a suicide prevention smock. The brig commander cited safety and security concerns for the treatment. So who knows what they're doing to Manning, Bradley Manning. I want to shout out to Manning. We're here for you. We definitely want him to be free and released. He's a true hero. Have more guts and balls than a lot of people ever would or ever could. And it's sad, man. It's sad that the government can get caught killing innocent people, and yet the person that did the killing doesn't get in trouble. The military, none of the higher-ups get in trouble, but yet the guy who released the video, he's the one that we're going to torture and put in jail and call him an enemy combatant because he's aiding the enemy. It's amazing, man. It really is. That things like this can go on and the average American doesn't even know about it. Doesn't even know about this video, never seen it, never heard of Bradley Manning. But yet all this commotion over what? Like Trayvon Martin. Cases that the media love. It plays to the media narrative. So that's what's going to be on air over and over again, which obviously there should be justice for all. Trayvon, Zimmerman, everyone. But, I mean, Bradley Manning, this is something that everyone should have an outcry about, that people should be in the streets marching for and speaking out against. And this is something that the media should be talking about a lot more. It should be breaking news. Bradley Manning should be all over the media. But he isn't, because they don't want this video to get that much play. I mean, they don't want too many people to know about this, even though it was way back in 2007. And plus, we know how the media feels about WikiLeaks. Saying that, Ron Paul's the only one, though. The only one coming to the aid of Bradley Manning and the aid of WikiLeaks, because Ron Paul supports the truth. And the truth is the truth. You expose that. It is what it is. Whoever gets hurt by it, whoever gets arrested by it, affected by it, it is what it is. The truth needs to be out. I'm Paco, your host. We'll be back. You're listening to Occupy the Media.